challenge as a nation is simply this: distribution. And let me break it out to what this young man was trying to explain. You know, this intelligent guest we have on the other side.
Mr. Ben.
Capacity, a distribution network that can only handle 5,000 megawatts. And you are generating far, far above your distribution capacity. So in other words, knowingly or unknowingly, deliberate or maybe by innocent mistakes, this overload naturally, you don't have to be a scientist to understand this, will naturally cause an explosion. And who benefits from an explosion? You've got to ask yourself that question, because this is a critical area, this is a critical infrastructure. So whenever there is an explosion on the transformers, which of course you know we do not manufacture here, we have to bring it in from abroad, and it has to be delivered by experts with a whole lot of money. And because it is urgent, no one is going to want to delay releasing money for an explosion. You understand that? So there will always be explosions. If we keep doing the same thing, or we keep saying the same thing until forever.
So, doctor, let me come in here.
Yeah.
There's something you said, and I'd like to take you up on that. But just before I do so, let's go take this call. Hello and good morning. Hello, good morning. Okay. Now, is it right to say that Nigeria does not have a power situation?
Can you rephrase the question so that a man with a low intelligence like me can understand?
Okay, now the thing is, if we are generating so much,
Yes,
and yet it is at a point of distribution that we falter,
yes.
it would ordinarily mean that we don't have a power situation. We only have a distribution situation.
Which is a problem of system. That's why I started by saying it is a systemic problem.
Right.
Do we want to solve the problem in the system, or are they people benefiting from the problem in the system? So when we look at all of this, then we can intelligently ask ourselves, is it that there are no consultants who know the solution to it? And I am preferring a very simple solution. Omoife will tell you how long I have been propagating this. For the past 5 years, I have been having interviews, making researches, going from place to place, conferences, advocating that we need an energy system, we need to revolutionize the energy system. But because I keep using the word revolution, no one is listening, so maybe we should tone it down.
Okay.
It's not a revolution, it is simply changing the system to something that is, humorously speaking, different from Baga Blue, Booga Blah, and perhaps even Bulaba.
All right, let's just take this one now. Hello? Hello?
Good morning,
Yes,
UD.
good morning, please. Alamin, yeah?
Yes.
Where are you
Thank
calling?
you. I greet our guest. I'm calling in from Central Area this morning.
All right.
I greet our guest. I agree with our guest. We cannot be doing the same thing and expect, different results. But where I slightly disagree is on his opinion whether we are still doing the same thing and expecting a different result. I would disagree. I think in the last 1.5 years, since the administration came in, which I criticized a lot. I was one of those that opposed the appointment of Mr. Adelabu as the Minister for Power. But I must confess that he has surpassed my expectation, in the sense that, even his greatest critics admitted and agreed that there's been massive improvement in our electricity supply. Away from that, most of all of the solutions that our guests, highlighted as solution in area of, building substation is what the administration is doing. I'll give you an instance. somewhere in Ondo State, 3 local governments, you have the Odigbo local government, the Ilaje and Okitipupa, they have been without electricity supply for over 14 years. But just recently, as around a month or 2 months ago, the government commissioned, the completion of a substation, of about 8 billion that have now restored, full power supply to that very very location. And on the whole, the minister is also, sometimes last month, they are talking about releasing over $800 million for the construction of substations across the country. You must also agree with me. Recently, when the TCN came out along with the discourse that, look, the problem is not even transmission. Most of the time, what we generate, we don't have a capacity to transmit half of it. We have the capacity to generate, 6,000 megawatts. In 2021, we generated 5,801 megawatts, but we transmitted less. So most of the discos do not even have the capacity, to transmit. So even when you give them this power supply, they do not have the capacity, or they are giving excuses that Nigerians are not paying. So they also fraud, the supply. Yeah. They refuse to supply it for free. So I think these are all of the reforms that is going on. And I think if the government is steadfast and, is steadfast in implementing all of these policies, I think definitely we will resolve our power epileptic. In conclusion, power outage is not only limited to Nigeria. Grid will collapse all over the world. I would have given you samples. Yeah. But what I'm trying to say, what I'm saying is most of the time these events cannot be completely, prevented, but they can be managed. Thank you so much.
Wow, thank you so much, Alamin. And I don't know if because we have run out of time as it stands right now, something we have to go pay a bill for. But I'd like you to, as much as you can, maybe in one sentence, maybe giving a smart response. Give us in 1 minute what you feel so far that can be done about our states, where we are now, and where we ought to be, to get it right.
I'd like to directly respond to the last
okay.
And I'd like to let him know that I am aware of what the minister is doing, and he's doing a fantastic job. And I'm aware that the government right now is making very, very good budgetary allocations to this. It's not about analyzing the problem, it's about preferring solution to the problem. So let's look critically at solutions and build a system that works for all Nigerians. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you. We still have, Benedict on the line. We're very sorry we couldn't really get, the most contribution from you today because of the poor network reception. But what are your final thoughts on the topic of discussion this morning?
Sabi, are you there?
Are you there?
Hello?
Okay. Well, I guess we may have to discuss, is it network collapse tomorrow?
Finally, I mean,
how do you even explain this?
It's so sad. But anyways, Mr. Benedict, thank you still for your thoughts, and may have been a bit short-lived by the network collapse, as we rightfully put it right here in the studio. But yes, we'll have more conversations about this, as many are saying that as much as we are trying to embrace change, if we continue in the way and in the past, as the doctor has also put it, that we are going, we might really be seeing more power grids collapses, not because that's what we want, but because we have decided to not embrace the change and embrace innovation. But anyways, thank you far too kind. This is the much we can take, the size of it. Tomorrow is yet another day, and we will have yet another great discourse. Thank you so much, Doctor, for stepping into the studio and having this discourse with us.
Thanks so much for having me, and I hope I wasn't too noisy.
No,
not at all.
Not at all.
The studio is a home.
Right.
I grew up a broadcaster.
Okay, awesome. Udrak Daniel is my name.
And I am Omoefe Peace Ostemere. Would like to state very clearly that the views expressed by the guest and the callers, as a matter of fact, were not influenced by Eagles FM 102.3 Abuja. Until tomorrow, I am Omoefe Peace Ostemere. Good morning.